All right, today we are doing a deep dive on a piece of hardware that is truly mission critical but often invisible. We're looking at the NTI E-5D-INDLT, which is their Industrial Environment Monitoring System. Our goal here is to really understand how this one box silently protects these huge, unmanned spaces, like data centers or remote telecom huts.
And the place to start, I think, is right there in the name.
Yeah.
Industrial. You look at the tech specs, and one number just jumps off the page.
The temperature range.
Exactly. This thing is designed to operate from -40 all the way up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. That's minus 40 to 85 Celsius. I mean, we're talking about conditions where your standard IT gear would just give up completely.
Right, would either freeze or literally melt down.
Yeah.
So, okay, inside that incredibly tough shell, what exactly is it keeping an eye on?
Well, it starts with the basics. It has internal sensors for temperature and humidity, but then it gets really flexible. It supports 5 external sensors you can configure yourself.
So you could add things like a water sensor on the floor.
A water sensor, a smoke detector, even airflow sensors. And beyond that, it has 5 digital inputs. These are much simply. They just look for a contact closure.
Like a door switch. So you know if someone has opened a cabinet they shouldn't have.
Precisely. A door opening, a fence being breached. But just monitoring isn't enough. The real genius is in how it survives. And that brings us to power.
Yeah, that's always the Achilles heel for these remote sites. How does this handle it?
With some pretty serious redundancy, it features dual DC power supplies.
So not just a battery backup, but 2 completely separate live power sources coming in.
Yes, and here's the crucial part. If that primary source fails, the unit automatically switches over to the second one.
Okay, but how fast? Is there a blip? A reboot?
No, that's the key. It switches over without interruption, seamlessly. The optional internal battery backup only kicks in after that has already happened. And for anyone in telecom, they even offer versions that run on native 48-volt DC, so it plugs right into the plant.
That's huge. Okay, so the system is robust. It detects a problem, a power failure, a temperature spike. How does it, raise the alarm?
The notification options are pretty extensive. You've got your local stuff like LEDs or a siren, but then it reaches out. It can send emails to up to 17 addresses. It can send SNMP traps.
Which is the signal that your network management software is waiting for.
Exactly. It's the I have a problem flag for the whole network. But the real intelligence is in what they call smart alerts.
Right, I saw that. It's not just a simple, if temperature is X, then alert.
No, it's way beyond that. You can configure up to 20 of these alerts using combinations of events. So you can use logical operators like AND or OR.
Why is that so important? I mean, what does that solve in the real world?
It filters out the noise. You don't want an alert just because someone opened a door, but you do want an alert if the door opened and the temperature is climbing and the main power has failed. That combination tells you you have a real crisis on your hands.
So it connects the dots. And I read it can do more than just send an alert. It can take action.
This is the game changer. It can send SSH commands based on a trigger.
Wow. Okay, so it could actually tell a server to initiate a graceful shutdown before the room overheats and cooks the hardware.
That's the idea. It becomes a proactive first responder. And the reason it can do all this is that the whole thing runs Linux inside. That Linux core also means it can integrate with IP video cameras.
So you can see the environmental data and a live video feed side by side in the same interface.
And it can even trigger a camera snapshot when an event happens. You get the data and the visual proof. Plus, it's also watching the network, pinging up to 64 other IP devices to make sure they're still online.
And because it's Linux, I assume it plays nicely with other monitoring tools.
Oh, yeah. It integrates with open source packages like Nagios and MRTG right out of the box. It supports all the standard SNMP versions, and all the communication is secured with SSH and AES 256-bit encryption. It's a proper network citizen.
So the big takeaway here for you, for the listener, is that this isn't just a fancy thermometer. It's a complete network disaster mitigation system. It sees multiple points of failure and can actually execute a plan to protect your assets.
It's the silent guardian, really. And if you need one final thought to leave you with, one number that sums up this entire philosophy, consider its mean time between failure. The MTBF for this model is rated at 170,344 hours.
That's what, almost 20 years?
Just about. So think about that. Nearly 2 decades of design and reliability. How much unseen, uninterrupted protection does that one statistic really represent?